I just turned 50 this year, and I think I bought almost that many versions of The Fifth Element. In fact, I've bought multiple versions of a lot of movies on VHS, Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray, digital versions. But at my age, I've begun to consider how many more times I'll watch some of these movies. Thanks to Kaleidoscape, I'm going to break myself from the habit of movie hoarding. Having the ability to rent a UHD movie at disc quality without having to leave the house and have it ready to go in 10 minutes is a great feature if I could only stop myself from buying titles that are on sale. A movie player is nothing without movies, so a big part of the Kaleidoscape system is the store. It's essentially the only place you can get content for your system unless you have an older model that contains a DVD drive to catalog and convert your disc library to Kaleidoscape files. I'm not going to dig into that because I don't have first-hand experience with it. As you browse the Kaleidoscape store, movies are categorized as you would expect, but there are also some really neat collections that are curated by Kaleidoscape's content team. A personal favorite is the AFI Top 100 collection. It's our goal to have seen everything on this list, so this collection is really handy as we check them off. There are also Best Picture collections, Marvel, Star Wars, James Bond, and more. Movies can also be broken out by studio, resolution, new release, just added, and more. Plus, there's easy access to currently running movie deals and sales here as well. Jumping into a category, you'll see Rotten Tomatoes score, audio, and other extra information right on the navigation screen when browsing in the store. I'd love that info while browsing my library as well. Honestly though, we rarely use the storefront on the Strato player. I tend to make purchases and rentals either on the mobile app or the web browser via my laptop. It's really convenient and easy to use, and you can do it from anywhere at any time. When you're ready to watch, your movie is downloaded and ready to go. Pre-orders are great. Bigger titles are generally big and bold and prominent on the home screen of the store, and when you pre-order, the title will be automatically downloaded to your system the moment it's available, generally overnight, so it's ready and waiting when you want to watch. I told myself when I bought the Kaleidoscape, it's not that I haven't tried to not buy movies, but the sales and special offers and bundle discounts have made it a little difficult at times. It seems like every week there's a new collection on sale for the same prices as the big inconvenient bargain bins at the big box stores, but with Kaleidoscape, you don't have to dig through a bin for an hour to see if there's rent a title on Kaleidoscape. They'll give you a 30-day window where you can receive a discount on the purchase of this title. Rental prices are typically $8, and if you buy it, you get $4 off the purchase price. I'm not doing a great job of not buying movies, but admitting you have a problem is the first step, right? There are several perks of the digital delivery system that Kaleidoscape leverages to provide extra value to their users. For example, I've had this system for about 2 months now, and I've already had 5 titles from my library that have been updated. General audio, video improvements, adding Atmos tracks, etc. The Lost City has received an update. It's still not even a Vective disc, and the user has to actively seek it out. Never just because they wanted to give you a better version. And as far as better versions, and this gets back to my rebuy test and buying multiple versions of a movie every time a new and improved format is released. If a movie that I own on Kaleidoscape in HD is updated to UHD, rather than having to purchase again, it can be upgraded for a small fee. Now, to UHD for free or minimal cost, depending on how you obtained your license to stream. If you redeemed a digital code from a disc, you didn't get an upgrade. If you purchased the movie on iTunes or Movies Anywhere, you did get that upgrade. But I can't help but wonder, did I just purchase my last version of The Fifth Element? One thing I'm just starting to notice over the last couple weeks, the Kaleidoscape store has several new release titles available as much as a month or more before the discs are released. I've pretty much stopped looking at disc release dates and I'm only paying attention to the Kaleidoscape movie store, so I didn't realize this right away. But a few titles we watched several once, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. The Lost City was the first movie we bought and watched on our Kaleidoscape, and it hit the store there almost 3 months ahead of the disc release. However, as we browse the Kaleidoscape store and compare the same title on disc, this is where some debate begins. Disc proponents are quick to point out that several titles on Kaleidoscape are missing Atmos audio tracks that are available on the disc. Fair point, but that number is growing smaller and smaller each week, and most, if not all, the new release titles have Atmos at release. We should also consider titles like Gravity, where you'll pay around $250 or more for the Luxe edition so you can have Atmos, if you can find one for sale, versus $10 on Kaleidoscape. This is also the perfect time to direct you to the previous section of this video and remind you that Kaleidoscape has the ability and a history of providing free updates to content for its users and frequently adding Atmos to existing titles. The flip side of that discussion is that there are several titles, currently over 600, that are available in 4K on the Kaleidoscape store that are not available on 4K disc. One other item that's important to point out for the non-projector folks is that as of this recording, Kaleidoscape does not offer Dolby Vision on any titles. Again, projector owners, this isn't an issue, but if you're using a panel for your display and it happens to be Dolby Vision capable, this is absolutely something you'll want to consider when making your purchase. For me, it wasn't an issue. Even though my panels in the house are all UHD and HDR, none are specifically Dolby Vision capable. If you have Dolby Vision screens, reach out to a Kaleidoscape dealer near you for an in-person demo of the Kaleidoscape content encoding. You might find yourself quite impressed. Obviously, buying movies is an expense, and rebuying movies is an even harder expense to justify. Like I mentioned earlier, I told myself I didn't need to hoard movies anymore and really wanted to focus primarily on the rental aspect of the Kaleidoscape. That being said, I would love to see a relationship with Movies Anywhere. My whole Vudu collection and iTunes collection, it's all synced via Movies Anywhere, so there would be another 300 or so movies that I would have access to on Kaleidoscape without having to buy them again. Kaleidoscape was connected to Ultraviolet before that organization folded and turned over the reins to Movies Anywhere. I can certainly understand the hesitation. Movies Anywhere partners are all streaming services with a different business model, but a connection would be great for users nonetheless. Overall, content availability in the Kaleidoscape store is pretty good. It's not as large as other streaming options, but the quality is better and the numbers are growing. I'm more interested in new content at this point, and Kaleidoscape has the jump on most competition in that area, offering better image and sound and often earlier availability. A common question that arises, and rightfully so, surrounds ownership of the content that you purchase from the Kaleidoscape movie store. When you buy a digital movie on iTunes, Vudu, Amazon, Movies Anywhere, or any of the other streaming sources, you're not buying the movie itself. You're buying a license to stream that movie, but if the storefront you purchased it from loses its rights to offer it, you just lost your right to stream it. This isn't hypothetical. It's happened to me, and it's happening right now. The Kaleidoscape store isn't licensing the right to stream content. This is ownership. Case in point, our internet was recently dead for a couple weeks, waiting for a service call. We couldn't watch Netflix, Vudu, or Apple TV, and even Plex had some issues due to required server communication. We had no problem playing back content that was already downloaded to our Kaleidoscape server. We watched several movies with no internet connection. Obviously, we couldn't download new content during that time, but at least we could watch what we have. As I mentioned, I'm only using a 6 terabyte server with the plan of being able to delete content to make more room as I need it, and then re-download content in the future if we want to watch it again. This does limit my access to owned content if the internet is down or something worse happens, and I was aware of that when I made the decision. It's no different than access to streaming content during an outage, and I don't plan to keep my server completely empty all the time, so there will always be something on there to watch if the internet goes out again, or like I said, if something worse happens to the company. So that is my take on the Kaleidescape movie system and the store. If you missed chapters 1 and 3, they'll be linked in the description below, so make sure and check those out to complete the full trilogy. Each chapter has a different area of focus depending on what your primary questions and interests are. Overall, I'm really happy with this purchase, as large as it was. I'm suffering zero buyer's remorse. This is obviously a product created and developed by movie lovers. The care they put into every aspect of this ecosystem is very impressive. The quality is every bit as apparent as expected, and it's allowing me to take full advantage of the rest of the equipment in my theater room. It's a turnkey solution for high-octane content, and it's just what I was looking for, without all the maintenance and upkeep. The early access to movie content is an unexpected bonus, and the vast collection of concert films in the Kaleidescape store has me chomping at the bit to dig into some that I've never seen. If you have any questions about the Kaleidescape movie system, leave them in the comments below and we'll get you an answer. As always, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to the AV Nirvana YouTube channel so you can keep up to date with all the new video reviews and deep dives that we're posting here. And then head over to avnirvana.com and join in on the conversation. We look forward to hearing from you.